Is Face the State with Dennis House, Connecticut's most watched local political program.
Voice of the great Bob Schieffer on this Sunday morning. Good morning. It is shaping up to be one of the most interesting legislative sessions in years. The budget, of course, takes center stage, but marijuana and tolls are hot issues this time around. And with us today, State Representative David Arconti, a Democrat of Danbury, and State Representative Jesse MacLachlan, Republican of Westbrook. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
And I'll begin with you, Representative MacLachlan. Tolls. Everyone's talking about them. Are they coming back?
Well, Dennis, I have the pleasure of serving on the Transportation Committee, and we have heard extensive public hearing and testimony on the issue, and I think the discussion is heating up, and we haven't come to a consensus yet.
Republicans seem to be against them on the surface, is what they're saying.
I think it doesn't come down on party lines. We need to figure out and hammer out the exact language of the bill before we make a decision.
Representative Arconti, you live in a border city, Danbury. They would more than likely get tolls if they are passed. What do you think about them?
Well, I'm adamantly, along with the entire Danbury delegation, opposed to border tolls and the returning of tolls to the state. And I can only speak to the Danbury region specifically, but we look at it as an unfair regional tax. You know, Danbury contributes a great amount of sales tax revenues to the state. And putting up a border toll, we think, would dramatically affect the Danbury area's economic activity. 40% of the traffic that comes to the Danbury Mall is actually from out of state, you know, from New York. So that's a lot of people contributing to the sales tax. And it would be detrimental to the private roads and our area neighboring towns like Richfield.
Is there any situation, any deal that could be struck with people in Danbury to get these tolls? Because a lot of Democrats want them.
I can't speak for the delegation, but I don't see an avenue where I would ever support tolls.
Let's talk about marijuana. There's a move to sort of decriminalize a little bit to allow the recreational use of it. How do you guys feel about that? I'll begin with you, Representative Arconti.
Well, it's an interesting issue. Actually, I've been getting more emails have been trickling in on that specific issue. It's a tough one. You know, I know the Q poll came out yesterday with residents. Was it 65-35?
They want it,
something
yeah.
like that.
Overwhelmingly,
a lot
people
of people want it, especially the younger generation between 18 and 34. I still need to learn more about the issue. I don't know how it could be regulated, how we'd regulate it, how we would, you know, keep people safe, you know, drivers, etc. There's still a lot of things to flesh out regarding it.
Representative MacLachlan?
I have a great organization in the town of Clinton, one of the towns that I represent, called Partners in Community, and we've been meeting regularly on the issue of marijuana, especially as it pertains to young people and the harmful effects on young people and what it does to the undeveloped brain, and some of the new strains that are coming out in different ways to ingest THC. For me personally, I think it's very important that we keep harmful drugs away from students, and at the same time not make career criminals out of young people that may have made a stupid decision.
You know, as Representative Arconti mentioned, it's a passion issue among the younger generation. Yeah. Do you see a lot of people your age out there smoking pot on a daily basis? Is it that common?
I spend most of my time up at the Capitol or in an office. So
it's not common there.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've only been there for 60 days.
But it does seem like the younger folks want it more than the older ones.
That's true.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the other issues that we're talking about. And the governor has, during the debate, I asked him whether he supported a new casino or an expansion. He was against it, as was Tom Foley. Now that is changing. People seem to want it, although that Q poll yesterday, most people are against it. Do you think we will see an expansion of gaming in our state?
If you asked me 4 or 5 weeks ago, I said absolutely not. But now we have this proposal in front of us. You know, I don't know. From my knowledge, the proposal calls for potentially 3 more casinos in the state, but they wouldn't be like Foxwoods or Mohegan. They would just purely be gaming, you know, table games and slot machines. I think it's too early to call, to be quite honest. As a member of Public Safety Committee, we're having the public hearing on Tuesday. That's where a lot of our questions will be answered, and we can really flesh out what this proposal is going to look like and the benefits or the detriments this could have for our state.
And the fear is these Massachusetts casinos, one in Springfield specifically, right over the border, is going to suck a lot of people from Connecticut over there, because it's certainly closer to Hartford's closer to Springfield than Uncasville. Right. What do you think about it?
It's a revenue issue. We want to protect, and when I say we, the casinos and those in favor of expansion of gambling want to protect that revenue stream. And I understand that, and I think at the same time, I'm not a gambling person. I took a chance and put my name on a ballot, and that was a gamble. But I think gambling as a whole I think it's a tax on the poor. But we can't get around the fact that if casinos and more of them can create more jobs, then I think we should take the proposal seriously. Finally, today it's time for a little friendly teasing. Representative Arcani, if you look behind you in this monitor, we have a little picture that we'd like to show you that's come up. This is something you tweeted. Do we have it? Ah, there it is! Oh, it's difficult to see, but here it is. It's, oh, look at that.
Oh, boy.
You are one of the more physically fit guys up there. Representative MacLachlan, we looked for pictures for you. We couldn't find any. Why is that?
Well, because I haven't been jumping over flaming pits with my shirt off. No one wants to see that, at least for me. But Dave is a CrossFitter, as I know, and I actually just joined 3 weeks ago, so we might have a friendly competition on our hands.
Next time you're on, you have a picture. All right. Gentlemen, we thank you so much for being on today, and don't be too embarrassed by that. We all wish we looked like that, huh? Representative David Arcani and Jesse MacLachlan, thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you.